released just the other day, on Halloween, in fact. Marvin Seo put out the new Falconer revamp. I don't think many people understand that this is an entirely new revamp of the Falconer. It comes with a ton of enemies, just a ton of content. This is probably the most content-rich mod that Marvin has put out, and we're going to be playing with it today, which I'm really, really stoked. I got to play the mini-boss that comes with this. I got to play some of the dream sequences. I got to know it pretty well as a melee class as well as a really viable ranged character. So that is going to be a ton of freaking fun. But this is how it plays. It is really freaking awesome. Let me give it a quick breakdown and then we're going to play it. Okay? Every one of her abilities is doubly named. And that's because it has 2 skill effects now. Why, you ask? Because
our modest fellowship expands. Praise the sub.
Oh, Nightmare, good to see you, Onimare. Claire, thank you so much for gifting a sub to Marvin and Oh Nightmare. Really appreciate it. How the hell have you been, Oh Nightmare? We get Adapt now with the Falconer, okay? The Falconer is a badass, flexible, not transformation class, but sort of. It plays a little bit like a transformation class because you can take something like this, okay? And you can still play it like a ranged Falconer. But if you want, as many times a turn as you want, you can swap between skill effects 1 and skill effects 2. So you can either choose to play with quick shot or crippling shot. And the difference is right down here at the bottom, skill effects 1, if you use quick shot, it buffs self for speed. If you swap with adapt, instead of getting a self buff, you debuff the enemies for dodge and negative speed, which is just badass. It is really a lot of fun to play. But worth pointing out before we move in is that it actually has a pretty sick melee build right now, which is maybe about this or probably this actually. Flank and Gouge has been added to the Falconer, okay, which basically makes her charge shot and move forward or stab with one of her arrows. It is pretty rad. It also works as an armor pierce against marked. It also does really excellent damage versus bleeding. So there's bleeding and mark synergy. There's armor piercing. There's cloaking, because now we have fleeting escape and Harrier doing either damage. This is the way to think about it. The Falconer now is split between either doing backline play and hitting the backline or frontline play and hitting the front line. It's damn cool, Marvin. Excellent job. I've had a ton of fun learning how to play this. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna jump into a group and just see how bad I play. But we're gonna do that on the champion level, I think, and maybe see if we can integrate some new Falconer stuff. See if we can get a Falconer dead pretty quick here. Dark Raven is already 6, weak grip on life. What I have not yet seen, you guys, are the enemies accompanied with the Falconer at the champion level. We could do just a short warrens, see if we run into something. Maybe we take guard, so we grab a Rimarax. Maybe we take lay. The one thing that I have learned about playing with the new Falconer, and I'll say this outright here, is that the enemies that you play against with the Falconer tend to be stress-oriented and AoE-oriented because they are Talon Brigands, right? So Riposte is good. AoE heals is nice. I think a Vestal or a Cataphract plays fairly well. You can certainly integrate other healers, but to counter the kinds of mechanics that Brigands have is a consideration, I think, moving forward when you play with the Falconer, especially at a later level. Yeah. This is not that bad a group. We have Mark Synergy, AoE heals, ripostes. The thing that is funky about this is so here's the thing. This is the thing about the revamp of the Falconer, if you guys are not aware of this. If you get a dream sequence, and you defeat the dream sequence, you kill the Brigands. The Brigands can give you some pretty nice loot, some good gold, but they also will hit one of your teammates with a negative quirk called Mark by the Flock, okay? Marked by the Flock. Marked by the Flock works a little bit like a Crimson Curse, not in the sense that it is contagious in any way, but only in the sense that it will change the things that happen around that person. So if you bring 4 people with Marked by the Flock into a dungeon, it has a 100% chance to spawn the mini-boss Brigand character, which can be really, really challenging. If you just have a couple, then there's a more likelihood of running into the Talon Brigands as you play. That is my understanding of it, at least. Yes, we're being hunted, says Emerald Lord. Exactly. Let's go wield. Let's get crushed by a thing from the stars. We're gonna camp, guys. We're gonna clear up some inventory.
A spark without kindling is a goal without hope.
Here's what we do. Heightened senses. Prevent nighttime ambush, 30% chance party surprised, but we get the extra dodge versus Talon Brigands, which we should have in just a second. I really like having Fletchery at only time cost 2, get the crit and the accuracy. It is indeed We Love the King. Carpenter Brute indeed. Brune's good to see you. We could go for the scavenge, produce a random amount of food. We're not going to take camouflage because we're switching out of doing melee play with the Falconer. You go camouflage if you go for flank gouge and fleeting escape, so you get extra damage when you're doing the flank gouge play, basically. Which means we could go... This is how we do it. We could go... 1 companion accuracy and speed. I'm really tempted to buff the damage output here as much as possible. 8 accuracy and crit. Let's go there. That leaves us with 4 left to either go scavenge or dodge and crit. Let's take tactics. Here we go. Oh my goodness. Okay. This is definitely out of position now. This is definitely out of position now based on how we swapped it. I should have done that before we camped here. Arngrim hasn't seen this yet. I thought you might find this interesting, Arngrim. So here's the thing. If you guys are new to the new Falconer...
Shame. Shame.
Thank you, Akale. If you guys are new to the revamp of the Falconer, okay? You get these dreams that are a lot like the Shieldbreaker's snake dreams. They are challenging, and they change whether you're on the apprentice, the veteran, or the champion level. Right now at the champion level, this is pretty rough. Some of this can be really hard, some of it can be a little bit easier. The damsels are very interesting. Let's just break this down minion by minion, enemy by enemy for a second, okay? Check out the buff here. Inflicts stress to attackers when hit. Inflicts massive horror to all heroes on death. So I know what you're thinking. The first thing you're thinking is, you don't want to hit the damsel. Maybe you do. You shouldn't, because it'll hit you for a lot of stress. The second is, if it dies, everybody gets a massive horror. That means that Marvin is doing his best job to make laudanum relevant in the game again. Appreciate that, Marvin. The other thing is, it means we want this to be the last thing we focus through this combat. However, it's essentially going to be a madman. The whole time this damsel is going to yell at us, freak out, stress out, and try to hide behind, aka guard other enemies, which is a really damn clever tactic. I don't know how the Talon Raider plays at the champion level yet. I do know that the Talon Raptors are nasty, nasty. At least the other birds that I have fought in these dream sequences for the Falconer have done a lot of stress, diseases, and they've resummoned a whole slew of other, like I think when I was practicing this, Marvin, I let the Falconer be the last thing to die, and it summoned 3 more birds. So, yeah, we're gonna think about this. This is cloaked, which is why we kept Eye Thief. I don't really want to use my turn moving forward here, but I kind of need to get her into a good position. This has 2 turns, by the way. 73% chance. Slice and dice, uppercut, shank and bleed, harmless poke, 73% chance to stun. This has 2 turns. Pet ignores stealth and cannot be reposted. I didn't actually see that before. What happens when you have a Falconer, a Shieldbreaker, and a Fool in the same party? Bruins, that's a good question. I asked Marvin this, and he said if you have a Shieldbreaker and a Falconer in the same party, the game decides for you. Here's the thing, this only has 25 HP. We do 9 to 18 on it. And then we hit it for 10. Here we go. Yeah, crushing the bird first is the right call. It just wasn't in a position for me to really do that, I felt. And this had 2 rounds. Killing this would be a good thing. This is guarded right now by the damsel. Getting this, I think we ignore this for right now. It's gonna AoE hit us, and we'll just AoE heal. 94% chance to hit. Booyah. Bird battle. Let's buff our accuracy and crit here. Oh, yes.
Injury. Palpable fear.
The blood pumps. The limbs obey.
Yeah, let's punch the hostage. I'm with you. Let's punch the hostage. Let's check this out. So if she guards, which she is now hiding behind this, right? We crit her. So actually, we didn't take too bad a stress hit there. That was not too bad. That was definitely the right call, Claire. Punch the hostage. There you go. Advanced tactics. We don't have riposte anymore. Lovely. But a Rimurax can hit stealthed. I think it's still better to kill this 5 to 9, 7 to 12. %, 65 stun resist. Bye-bye, birdie. Oh! That's why I want to get this thing out of here. It has those 2 turns and it's just going to keep railing. Three to 5 versus 9 to 18. It has 15. 7/2. Good gravy. These are really powerful debuffs, Marvin. Yes! Lave Lane, good to see you. Welcome. The cathartic thunk, indeed. Stun resist, stun resist, stun resist. We could guard again. Maybe we buff accuracy crit while we have the chance. I think maybe we just smash. 5 to 9. That felt better to me. The thing about guarding against these brigands is there's enough AoE damage that it doesn't always work that well. It probably would have been better there. Lovely. Look at that. Look at that excellent corpse. That is so sick.
Soothed. Sedated.
Try to leave her alive. That's the goal here. Oh, this Rimurax getting crushed by stress. Yeah, Claire, the Man-at-Arms is ignoring stealth because we got Twilight Dreamer. From Thing from the Stars. What is the dodge on this? 34. There we go. Check this out. So now this is really interesting. So now that you have left the damsel by herself, you get this like catch-up round, which kind of feels, it feels almost like if you're at the end of a wave. Okay, never mind. I see. 25 stress heal across the board. So here's what we get for this. A decent amount, actually, of loot here. The Talon Feathers. This ruffled feather proves that you have dispatched a member of the Talon Brigands. Someone will pay you handsomely for that. So you get some really awesome loot coming out of here. We also got the Butchered Bird. Not the Butchered Burb, but the Butchered Bird. This can be used by any member of the group. 15% damage and 6% crit at the cost of 20% stress. Not too bad. I really want to take these Talons home. That sounds good to me. We have what? We have 3 food checks to get back to the secret room after this next room. So we can probably pop a little bit of food here and then take in this. Oh!
The twisted faces of the damned, piled high and cloaked in malice.
It certainly isn't Collecty Claws, but it is the Collector. Land it. Yes. Here comes the pain train. Oh my god! Let's do this. Shut down the damage. Come on up to position 2. There we go. 8/2, you called it, Claire. Ouch. 19 is at 22. There we go.
A predator is often blind to its own peril.
Not too bad.
Seize this moment.
Let's get the hell out of here. 9k plus 20k.
You have served me.
Marked by the flock. There it is. Plus 5% stress received. You have interfered in the flock's ordeals. Your days are numbered. Replaced Curious. Hell yeah. That's great.